Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie and today I'm going to give you a bit of a Q&A session on cloth nappies off the back of my previous video where I talk about cloth nappies and are they actually worth using. So I realised in my last video that I covered quite a lot of ground with cloth nappies, but I didn't actually talk about very much about what we did in the house and why we did it. So I'm just going to answer some of those questions that I've received through my Instagram account, which is Katie_Jane_Bouet. Go and check me out if you'd like to. And I got loads of messages through that asking a bit more about using cloth nappies and reusable nappies. So I thought I'd do that today. That's a really good question, actually. So I didn't use these with my daughter because she was my first. I think going into motherhood for the first time was a bit of a shock. I looked into getting them originally through the incentives with our council in the London borough that we lived in at the time. And I think closer to the due date, I just got very overwhelmed with the idea of being a mum. I was a lot younger and actually I just feel like I couldn't deal with that on top of everything else. And then when she was finally here, she wasn't an easy baby by any means. She had reflux, she wasn't sleeping, I would suffer with anxiety, and I just felt that introducing reusable nappies on top of everything else, I just couldn't deal with at the time. This time I feel a lot more confident as a mum to Aiden. I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm that little bit older, so I feel a little bit more confident in what I'm doing, and also I'm just feel a lot more environmentally conscious this time, and I've done a lot more research and I'm able to look into things a lot more. And also just by simply speaking to other people, I realised a lot more people used cloth nappies than I realised, and I was actually able to ask their advice and ask them questions, and therefore it gave me the confidence to use them this time. So if you look in my previous video, I've used 3 different types of nappies. I used the all-in-one, which is the Bambino Mio. I used the pocket nappies, which are the Littles and Blooms. And then I've used the Little Lamb nappies with the top bots wraps. And the ones I would really recommend over all the others, if I was going to spend any money on reusable nappies again, it would be the Little Lamb nappies with the wraps on top. Regardless of which wraps, we use the top bots, but Little Lambs have their own wraps, but it would definitely be those nappies I would specifically use. So I actually bought these secondhand off Facebook Market, and I know that there's loads of nearly new sales out there for babies that can sell reusable nappies secondhand, and this is probably the best place I would buy them. But the pocket nappies, which we bought new off Amazon, and these were really cheap and just really good first time nappies to use. So I'm happy to say that we use reusable nappies or cloth nappies 90% of the time, including going out and at naps. The only time we ever use disposable is at night time. And the reason why we use them at night time is because Aiden sleeps on his tummy, regardless of how often we've tried to get him to sleep on his back because it is safer. He will always flip around and sleep on his tummy, which is fine, but in a disposable nappy, it soaks up a lot better. And because he's obviously lying on his tummy and his willies at the front, we found that a reusable nappy just doesn't have the same absorption power as a disposable, and we found that it leaks quite a lot. Thankfully, the Little Lamb nappies are great for nap times, but unfortunately they just cannot do the whole of the night, and the only way we get through the night without leaks is using a disposable. So our little routine that we have with using reusable nappies is that Aiden wakes up, he uses the pocket nappies to begin with, so I change him into a pocket nappy and then change him his clothes with this, and this will do him throughout the whole morning. And then when he goes for his nap, I will then change that into a Little Lamb nappy with a wrap. He'll then sleep on this, he'll then wake up, and then I will then put him back into another clean Little Lamb nappy, or a disposable, depending on where we're going for the day. If we're going for a very long trip where we're going to be in the car for a long period of time, or we're going for a long day where we're not sure about the facilities that we're going to be able to have, then we will put a disposable on him. But if it's just somewhere local and we're going for a quick walk, or we're going to the park or anything like that, then we will put on a reusable Little Lamb's nappy and a wrap. Then again, a new nappy, Little Lamb's nappy for his afternoon nap. Then he'll wake up and I will put him into another pocket nappy, and then this will do him towards bedtime, and then at bedtime we'll put him in a disposable for the night. So in answer to your question, we're looking at around 5 to 6 reusable nappies a day and a disposable at night. Obviously this depends on how much he poos, how much he wheezes. If we're finding the nappies looking quite big, then we'll change him more often than this. But at the moment it seems to be working out quite well, just using that many, and he doesn't seem to be having many leaks, and he doesn't seem to be having any nappy rashes, and he doesn't seem to be uncomfortable. So it seems to be quite a good routine for us. So once I've used the nappy, I will put the nappy in our nappy bin, where the other dirty nappies will store, along with our cheeky wipes, which we use as reusable wipes. And from there, when the nappy bin's full, I will pop them straight into the washing machine and do a pre-wash. So the pre-wash is for all those little flecks of poo that might be still on the nappy. We use nappy liners, disposable nappy liners, which catch the majority of the poo, which we then pop in the toilet, and then we chuck the nappy liner in the bin. And then with the soiled nappy, we'll put it straight in the wash, do a pre-wash, and then put it on a normal 40-degree cycle with non-bio washing powder. I know that there's a few things out there to suggest that you should use biological washing powder because it's better at breaking down the stains, and actually by doing it at 60 degrees instead of 40, that you are breaking down any bacteria better. But from my research and from what I understand is that it is just as clean by using non-bio washing powder at 40 degrees, and you are extending the life of the nappy. So this is why we do that, and we've found that this works perfectly well for us. Once the nappy is clean, we bung them in a tumble dryer because we're lucky enough to have them. Occasionally with the Little Lamb's nappy, they do take a long time to dry, so occasionally I might have to either hang them out on the line if it's a nice day like it is today, or I might have to shove them on like a bit of an airing cupboard or on a radiator just to make sure they're 100% dry just for half an hour or so. So far we've been really lucky with the smell. It's actually such a good nappy, especially the Little Lamb ones. They're such good nappies that even if you should sniff their bums and check if they've had a poo, you actually cannot smell it. It's actually really good. So you have to sometimes properly have a good check and think, have you done a poo? And we have found that, again, we've not had any issues with smells in regards to washing and drying. The stains have been a little bit trickier to get rid of, but I've noticed that if I'm lucky enough and it's been a good day, I will hang these on the line in the sun, and they actually are able to be sun bleached really well. So during the better weather, I'm more conscious of the fact that I'm going to be line drying them rather than in a tumble dryer, and hopefully they'll become white. This is a really good question as well, and we have struggled with clothes in regards to cloth nappies just because of the extra bulk, and because Aiden is generally a big boy. He's big, he's long, so any things like any vests or a long sleeve vest where you've got the poppers that go under the bum, we found that particularly difficult. But I found that there are these little things called extenders, which are little bits of cloth with poppers either end, and actually what this does is extends the vest or whatever you've got on underneath by that little, it's like a little extension that makes it easier to go around the cloth nappy, and we found these really useful. They're also really cheap. You can get them sort of £4 or £5 off Amazon for a pack of 3, so they go in the wash and just with your normal stuff. As far as brands of clothes, we found Blade and Rose are fantastic company, which do wonderful leggings with really cheerful colours and really cute little prints across the bum. Aiden's got one with a chameleon on it and a little pirate face, and again they're really stretchy and elastic, and they're fantastic for cloth bums. We have been using things like dungarees, because obviously dungarees don't have the actual elastic across the waist to add to the bulk of the nappy, but we found that, especially because Aiden's crawling, every time he tries to crawl with a cloth nappy on in dungarees, they just pop open. He just rips open them like the Hulk. So we've had to abandon that idea, which is a shame because they look so cute in dungarees. So unfortunately, it's just like the sort of baggy, slouchy trousers are the best way of going over a cloth nappy. And you'll soon get to realise when you pick a bit of clothing up whether it's going to fit or not, just by trial and error. So as I've mentioned in my last video and in this one earlier, that your local council does have incentives to try and get you to buy reusable nappies. Either that they will sell you a bulk of nappy, or like a new baby nappy package including bin and liners and stuff like that. They'll sell it to you at a discount price if you apply, or they'll give you a voucher for free to then spend where you want to get reusable nappies, either online or in a shop. And again, so check out your local council for this information and see if you're eligible for that incentive. I got all my nappies bar 2 secondhand, and that didn't bother me one bit. They're still incredibly good and useful. The elastic's still really good, the Velcro's still really good. So check out places like Facebook Market, eBay, Gumtree, anywhere that you get your secondhand stuff, because guaranteed there will be people selling a load out there. And quite frankly, I don't know why anyone buys anything new for babies nowadays, because there's just so much out there and they use it so quickly, and that there's some of the stuff that's out there looks brand new anyway. In your local area as well, check out to see if there is something called a reusable nappy library, because and this does what it says on the tin really. You go and you pay a bit of money to basically hire out some nappies, and it's obviously a very small price compared to buying a whole chunk of nappies that you might not use. And that way what you do is you can hire them out for a certain amount of time, and you can either extend that hire or you bring them back and change them for another type of nappy. And that way you're able to try the nappy without really dedicating yourself financially, or by dedicating yourself by storing all these nappies up, and seeing which one works well for both you and your baby. Lastly, I found this really great service online called thenappylady.co.uk. But basically you fill out a form explaining your situation, how often you think you'll be able to change, whether it's a girl, whether it's a boy you've got, whether you've tried them before, how much you're willing to spend, all these kind of questions, basically teasing out the kind of information that they need to suggest a specific nappy. And then what they do is they send you by email a list of all the nappies that they recommend and why, and how much it would cost for you to have these nappies throughout the life of, or the nappy life of your baby, for the 2.5 years, for example. So that's a really excellent service. So it's called thenappylady.co.uk. Go ahead, go and fill out that form if you're curious, and they'll give you all the information and why. It's a really handy service, and I used it, and it opened my mind into using cloth nappies a lot better and gave me a better understanding. So there you have it, just a few little Q&As about cloth nappies and how we are using them. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Hi everyone, just to let you know that this is how many disposable nappies we've used in 2 weeks. So we are just changing our bins, and we've got a special bin bag for our nappies with our local council, and this is just to let you know how many we've done over the 2 weeks that we've been using mostly reusable nappies. So as you can see, there's about about 15 nappies in there, tops. I'm really pleased with that because it means that we've been using reusable nappies a lot more this week, and I'm dead chuffed. So there you go, makes all the difference.